Are you dealing with some low back pain or some issues around that area? Well, stick around. This is a great segment for you on stretching for your low back. Hi, it's Mark from Evansville Power Yoga, and yes, this is a class for back relief. Not all back pains, I realize, is the same. You know, some of you have back pain because of injury. Were in an accident, or it was a muscle sprain from a sports injury. I have students who have osteoarthritis. They also have a spinal stenosis. So low back pain is going to stem from different places. What I do want to bring to you in this class is finding back relief for those of you who have some muscular imbalance from sitting a lot, from tight hip muscles or tight hamstrings, where those muscles pull on the low back. And another thing I do want to bring up is if you do these postures and poses and you feel some sharp pain, I'm encourage you to stop what you're doing or back off. So this class is about lengthening your spinal muscles, getting space through your hips and hamstrings. All right, so let's get to it. For this class, we will be staying low on the floor. There will not be any standing poses in this class. If you have a pillow, I would recommend to go grab yourself a pillow that you sleep on. I'm going to use this blanket. Also, if you have a strap, a necktie, we're going to use that. And we're going to do a few poses with the chair. So go ahead, pause the video, grab yourself a chair, and meet me back here, and we'll start on our backs. So go ahead and find yourself onto your back and take your pillow underneath your neck. Bring your feet to parallel. Make sure that your feet are firmly rooted and planted. And we'll create a few pelvic tilts. Okay? Take your fingertips to your hip points. Feel the natural curvature of your low back. There's that natural curve. Take a deep breath in and raise your hip points up towards your face, and exhale, lower. We have 10 of these. Breathe in, rock your pelvis up towards you, and exhale, back down. Create that low back arch. Inhale. And exhale. Just keep this rhythmic pattern going. Breathe in. Flatten your low back. Exhale. Tilt your pelvis forward. And maybe get a little bigger with these motions. Inhale, lift your hip points up. Now, don't raise your hip too high. And go ahead, rock it back down. I believe we have 5 more. Inhale, raise, press your feet to the floor. Make sure there's a connection. And exhale, tilt forward. 4 more times. Breathe in, pelvic tilts. And exhale. Use your breath to guide you to lift, to release. 2 more. Here we go. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and rest. Bridge pose, bridge pose. Press your feet to the floor. Take your hands, grab the outer edges of your mat, press it away from you, press your feet to the floor, tilt your tailbone up toward your face, and begin to lift your thighs up towards your ceiling. So press up. I'm going to encourage you, don't go overly too aggressive. Just notice where you feel this. Throughout this class, I'm going to encourage you, because this is for low back pain relief, is go ahead, come back down. Is if you notice sharp low back pains or pains, I'm going to encourage you to stop. Listen to your low back. Inhale, let's come back to another bridge. Press your feet to the floor, lift your hip points up. Now we're going to create some strength through your quads. Press your feet, lift your hips a little higher, and engage your glutes. So you lift up as high as you can, and release. When you come back, articulate the motions and bring a sense of easiness and not rushed. Last time. Press your feet to the floor, take your thighs up towards your ceiling. And I'm going to encourage you now to go as high as you can on this bridge. Press your feet. For some of you who stack your shoulder blades underneath, you can do that. Lift up as high as you can, breathe in, and exhale. Lower. We're going to create some knee to chest movements. Instead of extending your leg, I'm going to encourage you to keep both of your legs bent. I'm going to do 5 of these. If you're doing this at home, you could do between 5 and 10. Okay? I want to show you these movements. Press your left foot to the floor. Inhale, take your right leg up to your chest, squeeze, and exhale. There will be breath with movement, okay? Inhale, press, squeeze, and we're lengthening the spine, opening up that hip. Exhale it out. We got 3 more. Inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, lower back. Control movements. Inhale, go ahead and squeeze and release. 1 more. This is the breath patterns. It's inhale, exhale, relax. Let's do the opposite side. Inhale. Squeeze your knee to your chest. Exhale. Inhale. Breath with movement. You know, the thing about the yoga postures is that when you use breath with movement, it gives you something to follow, as opposed to just doing it willy-nilly. Where there's no rhyme or reason. You follow your breath. We'll do 1 more. Conscious, all right? You're paying attention. And release. Like what I said, if you go back and do these poses, you could do more than 5. I encourage between 5 and 10. This time we're going to do both of our knees together, okay? Here we go. Inhale. Draw your knees to your chest, flatten your low back, and release. So this brings this sense of opening through your glutes. You stretch and lengthen your low back muscles. Come back up for 3. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Couple more. Breathe in. Squeeze. Let it go. Last one. Squeeze and hold. So hug your knees to your chest and begin to take your knees and widen them out as if you're trying to get your knees towards the floor. Right now, I feel like I'm taking my knees towards my armpits. So it's a little wider knees to chest. Well, actually, now it's not knees to chest because we're giving it a little bit of space. Take a few rounds of breath. Pull your knees towards the floor. All right, go ahead and release. Bring your feet back to the floor. Keep your knees together and we'll do mindful knee twists or trunk rotations. Extend your arms out to a letter T. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, drop your knees towards one side. That's either right or left. We're going to use our breath. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, take your knees to the opposite direction. Inhale, use your breath to guide you. Exhale, twist. All right, take a deep breath in, come on up. Exhale, twist. As a reminder, some of you may not be able to rotate as much as I am. For some of you, your rotation may stop here. If you feel any deep pain, stop and then come back. And maybe the opposite side's you could get a little deeper, and I'm going to encourage you to go find your end range and never find that place where it hurts. You got to stop and be mindful. We've got 2 more on each side. Bring your knee towards the floor. Keep both of your shoulders anchored. There's a tendency for one shoulder to ride up. Easy movements with your low back, never jarring. Just paying attention. Getting these trunk rotations to help our paraspinal muscles. Come back up. And bring it up. And release. Good. Grab a hold of your strap. So I'm going to rock and roll, grab my strap. I'm going to still have you with bent knees, okay? This is for new students who are looking into this video. Sometimes students have a hard time, or it's difficult. For some people who lie down, it's very aggravating for their back. This one at least gives some sort of, for students, comfort, and it's not as aggressive. Take your strap or belt or necktie, loop it around your right foot. Flex your toes towards your face. Pull the strap and kick your leg out. 5, I call them leg pulls. Inhale, pull the strap back towards the back of your mat or towards your head, and exhale, relax. You know, for some of us, inhale, pull it back. A lot of back pains stem from having tight hamstrings. Keep on doing this in your own pace. You know, I have students who have extremely tight hamstrings, and after a class like this, they find their backs slightly finding comfort due to the fact that their hamstrings got loosened, right? You know, your tight hamstrings, pull on that low back. One more, pause and hold. Again, you can do more than one set of 5 repetitions. You could do 10 if you'd like. Go ahead and kick your heel up a little higher. Accentuate this pose. Pull. Notice the hamstrings lengthen. Take another deep breath in. And go ahead, release. Rebend your right leg or the leg that you kicked up with, and take your strap to the opposite side. Notice if one leg is tighter than the other. That's perfectly okay. Right? Let's create those movement patterns. Here we go. Inhale, pull, and exhale, release. I notice, I'm taping this in the morning, that this leg is tighter than the other, or it's not quite awake yet. Breathe in. I notice it through my low back as well. There's a stretch. I definitely notice in my hamstrings. Go ahead and lift and pull. And release. And last one. Now press your grounded foot to the floor. Kick your heel up. I do want to caution you, if you notice your hips rising up, pay attention to that. Keep your sacrum and your hip to the floor. This isn't about how far you could take it. It's about noticing the sensation. Give it a little bit more of a pull. Couple more, deep breath in. And exhale. Go ahead, release. Take your strap, place it aside. And rock and roll. Find yourself into tabletop pose, tabletop posture. We'll do a few rounds of cat and cows. Take a deep breath in, cow pose. Cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, and come into cat. Go ahead and repeat this movement pattern. Use your breath. Round your upper back. I have students with spinal stenosis where their nerves are getting pinched. One of the great yoga poses or stretches that I teach them is about lengthening the spine, and some of them get relief when they create these, mainly the cat poses, those deep flexion poses like this, because it brings space through the spine. We're going to create one more set of these cat and cows. Go ahead and round. Come to neutral spine, child's pose. Take your knees wide and take your hands directly out in front of you. Okay? I was talking about spinal lengthening. This is a great pose for hips. Sink your hips back and extend your arms forward as far as you can. And once you get your forehead on the floor, if you're able to, if you're not, you could take your head onto your pillow, on your blanket, or on blocks. And sit your hips back. Take a few rounds of breath here. Stay in child's pose. Extend your arms further. Sit your butt further back towards your heels. And now shimmy your butt from side to side. Just move them side to side. Keep your arms extended. Keep lengthening through your spine to create space. You know, when we have low back pain, or I have low back pain, there's some sort of restriction and my body needs space whereas if that's like hamstring tightness or hip or spine, it's always needing space. And that's what we're doing today, is to get yourself some space. Come out of your child's pose and let's come into Sphinx Pose. Again, another pose that creates length through your spine. Bring your shoulders stacked over your elbows. I'm going back. If there's pain, stay lower, or maybe skip this pose altogether. Press your forearms deep. You've got to root. You've got to bear down. Spread your fingers wide. Set your eyes to a point. Press and make your hips heavy. Then begin to create a traction pull. Shift your hips from side to side. Side to side. Press your forearms again. Take a deep breath in. And very mindfully, bring your chest to the floor. Take each hand on top of each other and place a cheek. You're more than welcome to take 2 sets of these. Again, through this class, I'm giving you different postures to help you relieve some of that back pain. So if you need more of this and it feels good, go ahead and pause and create another one. And go ahead and find your way into tabletop. You know, also, so before I continue on, not only do we want to lengthen hamstrings and lengthen the spine, we also have to have a sense of core connection and strengthen the core. It's not to develop six-pack abs, it's to develop an awareness through your core, and Bird Dog is a great pose to do to help not only lengthen back muscles, but also to strengthen like the whole, the corset of your body, the natural corset. Extend your right leg out. Extend your left leg in. Now, reach as far as you can. You can hold this pose if you want an extra amount of core connection. You're going to create some knee to elbow crunches with me. If not, stay here, breathe in. Exhale, bring your knee to your elbow and extend it out. For those of you who don't want to do that, that's okay. Stay in extended hand to leg and arm. We're going to do crunch, extend. 2 more. Draw in, extend, draw in, extend, hold, and tabletop pose. Okay, just relax your shoulders. We'll do the opposite side. Extend, we did 5 of them, or you could hold it, breathe in, bring your knee to your chest, knee to elbow, extend, draw in. That's usually an exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, in. Extend, flex in. One more. Reach, in, reach, hold. Are you still there? And release. Good. You're going to come onto your feet. I did say we were going to do standing pose. Actually, we are still going to stay really low. We're going to come into a ragdoll pose, okay? We'll start off with a downward facing dog first, okay? So downward facing dog. Do a walking dog. Press your hands to the floor, tilt your tailbone up. Press away from your mat and pull your belly in. Move your hips from side to side. And walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Ragdoll pose. This is a great pose for tight hamstrings. It lengthens those low back muscles. It lengthens your spine. And you could even walk your forward fold. Give into gravity. There's an analogy I use with my students. I say you're almost like a waterfall cascading down, right? So think of your upper back as a waterfall. Just breathe here. Reiterating, you could always take this as long as you want. We'll be here for about a minute. Sway your torso from side to side. Walk your hands back. Downward facing dog. And into child's pose. Press up onto your knees. We're going to come into rabbit. One of my favorite poses to lengthen throughout, like from my tailbone all the way my upper back. For some of you, this may be, this is an awkward pose for some of my students. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it and see if you could follow along. Take your hands to your heels. You're going to cup them. You're going to draw your chin into your chest. So it might get loud because my mouth is going to come into my microphone. I'm going to draw your chin in, round. You're going to lift your hips up. It's almost like cat pose. Round your upper back. Grab a hold of your heels. Bring your head towards the floor. And round your upper back. Pull your hips up to the ceiling. And breathe here. Come on up. So I know for some of you that is a new type of sensation. Play with that. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't resonate with you, skip it all together. Don't do it. We're going to move on to a chair with figure 4. And I enjoy this pose. So grab your chair. Figure 4. Sit up nice and tall. So bring your feet so they're parallel. Cross your right ankle up on top. Take a deep breath in and fold. You know, this is similar to half pigeon pose, eye of the needle, what else? Half pigeon, double pigeon. We're going to use breath with movement in this pose, okay? I want you to sit up tall, breathe in, and exhale. Draw your chest forward. Notice sensation through the hips. I am. Inhale, come on up. Exhale. Bow forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. This is 3. Come on up. You have 2 more. Breathe in. Exhale it out. Come on up. Last one. Stay tall. Breathe in. Exhale. Draw forward and hold. Another pose where you could stay as long as you want. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. And come on up. So what I'm going to do actually at the end of this video, or actually I'm going to link a PDF of all the poses that I've created, okay? So I'll give you a PDF of that. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, come on up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. We got 2 more. Exhale. Come on up. Last one. Here we go. And hold. So today's class, as we wind down, it's all about finding length through your spine, hamstring, hips. Come on up. Sit up tall. All right, final pose, resting pose. In this, we're going to use the chair. If you have a chair like this one, it's going to be very beneficial. It's going to help relax your back. So we're going to come back to the floor. I'm going to show you how you create this pose. Again, this is another pose that if you want to stay here longer than the minute that I'm going to have you in, feel free. I do want to get you into this posture. Come onto your back. So bring this is it, sweep your feet around and up. And there's about a 90-degree angle. And even if I don't have low back pain at the moment, I notice that my back feels much more happy with me than if it was outstretched, okay? For this, it is intense for some of you, so that's why we bring a chair. Take your hands to your sides. Allow your back to surrender. And breathe in and out of your nose. At any time, you could come up, or you could stay here. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And find your way into a seat. For those of you who want to stay, you are welcome to do so. So those are some great yoga poses or stretches you could do to alleviate some low back pain. And I know some of these back pains could stem from different places. Today was more about giving you some tools for those of you who have tightness because of muscular imbalance, and different poses to lengthen your spine. So I hope you got some information from this class. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do so. Hit that subscribe button and you'll receive information on when the newest content's going to come around. So thank you so much. We'll see you next time.